Greetings, everyone. This is Eric Stewart from the Fishing Fanatics podcast, and today I'm joined with Brian Kujawa, who is the owner of Northern Lights Toys and Create a Lure. So, how you doing, Brian?
I'm doing good today. How are you doing today, Eric?
I'm doing good. It's a great Friday, and when we're recording this here, and I'm excited to hit the weekend, go a little fishing, and have a little fun. But I'm even more excited to dive into your story because I think it's going to be an interesting one to see your career develop. And how you started Create a Lure Company and Northern Lights Toy Company too. So let's start with basically your story about joining the Army, or if you want to go a little bit before that, we can start before that and kind of how you joined the Army and what that whole process looked like. And then your 2 tours in Iraq too. We'll start there.
Sure. So I graduated high school in '04 out of Minnesota. That's where I still am located at. I went to college initially directly out of high school, and I realized how much I hated college. So about 3 months into college, I said enough was enough, and I decided to join up in the Army. And immediately got sent on over to Iraq for '05 and '06. I was in Baghdad with the 1st Cavalry Division, where I was shot at and I was blown up. And I said, I should have stayed in college. And, from there, I kind of started going back to school. Went back overseas in '09 and '10 to Kirkuk, Iraq. And then I was wounded while I was overseas, and I actually was medically retired Christmas Day 2013. And that was the end of my Army career of nearly 10 years. Then after that, I had finished up my degree in transportation logistical management. I bounced around. I tried using that degree, realized how much I hated it, how little I got paid with it, and I ended up becoming an electrician. And I was an electrician for 5 years until wintertime of 2020, where I was laid off for both wintertime being an electrician, and there's not much work, and then also COVID was happening then, and everybody was scared and shutting everything down. So I got laid off, and basically it was February, and I don't know if any of your viewers have been to Minnesota in February. It's like -50 for like the entire month. You can't really go outside and do a whole lot. And, one day it was Saturday, and I just looked up, and I've got a family of 5, and my 3 kids and my wife and I, we were all in the living room, but we were all on different screens, and we were all doing something different. We were all not talking to each other, but yet here we were 2 feet away from each other. And frankly, it kind of pissed me off. I got upset about it. So I had everybody turn off all the computers, all the video games and the TV, and I just kind of started thinking about different fun things to do, and we actually started painting our own fishing lures. And I realized how much my kids really, really liked that. And then that was kind of like the light bulb moment where I realized that there is nothing else like it on the market, essentially. And I don't know if you guys can see it too well, but the back of my box here just kind of represents basically all of us sitting around the kitchen table, just having a good time, painting some fishing lures, so there's the front of the box as well. And yeah, so I set out to making this, and I did about a year of R&D with it, just testing, doing different things. And then I finally released Thanksgiving Day 2021. And so I have only been in business for about a year and a half, and that's where I met you, Eric, was down there at ICAST. That was a heck of a show, and I actually had no idea how big that was going to be. I just kind of did it on a whim because I was like, all right, well, every show says that they're the best show. So I was like, well, why not? I'll give it a try. I want to attract more customers down in Florida. And I did not realize how actually gigantic that was going to be. And it's been, a month now since ICAST, and I haven't gotten off my computer for more than a couple hours to make some boxes. So it's been a whole lot of fun,
Absolutely. That show is crazy. The ICAST 2023, because that was personally my first time down there too, and sounds like it was your first time down there also. Tell me a little bit about that show and just making the different connections with people, and then how's the retailers' response too for your company?
So that show, when they said it was the best show, it was the best show. That I could ever possibly do. God, there must have been about 15,000 people there, but it was strictly other businesses. So I'm just sitting here talking with retailers, and generally like the Create a Lure product is so new that I'll have like about 10 to 15 people outside of my booth at any given time that I just got to yell and kind of show them what it is and everything. And that show was no different, but this time I was doing it to, the owners of Bass Pro Shop, the Walmart buyers, all the different buyers from all the major companies around, all the distributors. The one that really surprised me was how many international people were there. Like now I have to change all the language on my box into French Canadian, German, Polish, Swedish, just the works. So that way it can go around the world, and very, very fun, very impressive turnout. And like the retailers have been great. Like I said, I've been working on contracts pretty much since the moment I got back. They've been harping down my throat to get them. And if you guys could see behind me, this is my garage. This is where I do it all out of. I'm a one-man band right now. And I mean, like, I'm doing it all. So I'm every day come into 10, 11 o'clock at night, I'm still filling the paint pots that come with it. And I'm still putting the kits together, just trying to get ready for one heck of a winter. Just trying to hire people. Can't really find them quite yet because I think it's partially like, hey, come to my garage and work. That's not exactly something you want from an employer, So we'll get there, though.
Business owners and marketing professionals in the Philly area, Bad Rhino takes the overwhelm out of digital marketing. With tailored digital marketing services, from social media management to SEO and PPC advertising, our expert team navigates the complexities of the digital ad space for your business. Let Bad Rhino lead you to success. Visit badrhinoinc.com and let's take your business to new heights. Bad Rhino, we do digital marketing so you don't have to.
All right, Brian. So tell me a little bit about right after the Army. So you got out and you weren't really sure what you were going to do. I saw in your notes that you were kind of homeless at one point with 2 kids and a wife. So tell me about that.
Yeah. Yeah. So basically, in the Army, the way that they got it set up is that, to qualify for housing on base or anything else of the sorts, you have to meet certain conditions. Well, we were so poor with our 2 kids that we made the choice to send my wife back to Minnesota and to live with her parents while I kept on working and getting out of the Army. And the Army actually came in and removed us from our house. It was, I say our, because it's a friend of mine. And yeah, they basically said that we couldn't live there without a family, or we'd have to have a reduction in pay. So to save the money, to try to get a better head start once we got out, my friend and I, we actually ended up living down by a river out in Fort Lewis, Washington, for about 6 months out of his trailer. And let's just say that there's a lot of bears out in Washington State.
Yeah. You have a bear story?
I do, but I'd rather not go into that right now. That involves immediately after Iraq, where I was a little hot-tempered and looking for the adrenaline rush again.
Gotcha.
So
I will respectfully move on then from that story. So Create a Lure company gets founded, and you have that idea, and then you start the R&D process and all that. Roughly how long does it take you to kind of get the whole thing set up and get your website set up and all that?
So it took about a year total to get everything set up and get it all going. I mean, the fishing lures part of it, that was easy. I mean, so many people sell fishing lures. The hooks, the hook protectors, that part was easy of it as well. It was finding basically the illustrators and finding the right paint that works the best for what it is. Because, I mean, obviously it's a product that's designed for kids, and it's designed to get them, more active in fishing as well. So I had to make sure that the paint was non-toxic and washable. I mean, you just can't sell toxic paint to kids. It's just a no-go. And basically, that was the hardest part, was trying to find the best paint that looked the best on it and kind of going from there. Then the other thing was the price. I want to make sure that I can provide a good quality product, all right, that is still cheap and, basically affordable to everybody. And so I had to really shop around to find the right materials to make it the cheapest I possibly could for the customers and the highest quality for the customers as well. And as you saw it there, Eric, I mean, they're all high quality lures. I did a lot of work I spent a lot of money trying to get it to that point. So
Absolutely. And one thing I love about your company too, and is it just completely pops, is the packaging of your lures or of your boxes. Yeah, that is sweet.
yeah, I really appreciate that. So we're actually working right now with my illustrator to make additional changes, basically. So what we're going to try to do is we're going to try to make it customizable to each area of the United States and potentially the world to specific fish. So such as down there in Florida, you know, both of us are kind of Midwestern guys. I didn't know how many fish they had down there. But I mean, like, you know, we're going to be doing like the red snapper version of it, a trout version of it, just all kinds of different versions of it. And it's a whole lot of fun. You know, it's a lot of work. And, you know, like I was saying earlier, I'm doing this out of my garage and I'm already out of room. So I'm actually in the works right now of moving out and trying to get into a warehouse and really set up shop
Oh yeah,
that way.
oh yeah. Let's talk about your current things you got going on with like your current lures. You got the mystery pack, you got the 6 lure pack, you got the top water, you got the deep divers, and you got the musky lure too.
Yep. So that's our mystery, and this one here is our
Musky lure.
our musky
Oh, yeah.
lures. Our shark edition is coming soon, and our barracuda edition is coming soon. And yeah, I mean, I've got 34 different types of lures right now that I choose from when I'm building it. And as you can see right here, I just have bags of them, and I'll sit here at the chair watching some TV, you know, and I'll be pulling out the lures as I package them up. And yeah, it's a whole lot of fun, and I'm hoping to get a lot more. I feel bad, so as you can see, I got the whopper
Yep.
ploppers here, but I kind of messed up on the paint, so I've got about 300 whopper ploppers here that I have to go into the backyard and repaint again. But I mean, you know, mistakes happen. You live and you learn. So
That whopper plopper just catches fish. I'm going out to a local lake by me at night, tonight actually, and I'm going to be throwing a whopper plopper the entire night. So hopefully I can run
Yeah.
into a big one.
Those things are such awesome lures. I really do like those. You know, they just sound
Yeah,
awesome.
they
I
are
love
so
them.
cool. But so for kids, like starting to get the idea of like expand their creativity and started making their own products, I think that's an awesome like message to send, and also an awesome activity for any kids out there. Because personally, I used to make my own fishing lures in my garage. Kind of how I started in the fishing industry, just making swim baits, painting them, actually out of wood, but kind of the same type of process. Tell me about the benefits of kind of getting your kids off the screen and then get them to kind of work with their hands and expand their creativity through making lures.
Well, 100%. I mean, like it engages their creative process. I watched it with my own kids because we go fish a river that's right next to my house, and I don't know about how rivers are where you are, but ours are kind of sandy, you know, so they're always kind of murky, a little bit darker towards the bottom of it. And so, you know, I just made my kids think about it because that's where we go fishing at. Like, okay, well, what is going to stick out in the area that we predominantly fish in? Like just think about it. Like, what do you think is going to be better or worse? What has worked better or worse for you in the past? And try to make it your own custom lure from going forward. But most of all, personally for me, it just shows them that they don't have to accept what's directly put in front of them. That with just a little bit of creativity and a little bit of thought, they can go out there and they can try their hand at doing anything, making anything that they want, and it'll still catch fish. I mean, like, there's no question about that. It's just a matter of they don't have to pay $20 for a Rapala lure. You know, they can. I've had people tell me stories about how they took off the top of their parents' brooms, and they would whittle them down into fishing lures. You know, and it's just like yeah, you know, and really that's what this is all about too. Is it's just a, you know, fun little activity to expose them to painting their own lures, because I mean they're gonna once they catch a fish, especially on their own lure that they created, they're hooked for life essentially. And it's just expanding upon, you know, what else they can do throughout their lives, just to do something different, something custom that they can do practically for themselves.
And it's
as
so
well.
cool because there's no better feeling than catching a fish on a lure you made or painted yourself. That's a crazy feeling.
Yeah. No. Yeah. so this whole thing is my daughter too. She didn't ever really want to go out fishing with me unless I had a ton of snacks, which, any parent knows you bring a ton of snacks out there. And she would eat the snacks. She would kind of fish, kind of not. Well, with this, she's being creative. She's painting her own lure. She actually caught a largemouth bass off of the lure that she created about a week before we went to ICAST. And I mean, it's awesome. She loves it. She'll come out with me every single time, and she'll be out there fishing. And she's still a kid. She still wants the snacks, but that's okay. I'll buy all the snacks in the world.
If I'm being honest, sometimes I go on the boat for the snacks too.
I mean, right? Sometimes there's some good snacks in there.
So why fishing though? Because you could have been sitting around and seen your kids play on their video games, and it could have been let's just pick up a paintbrush and draw on a piece of paper. Why were you really called to kind of making fishing lures?
Well, so landed 10,000 Lakes, Minnesota. I grew up fishing. My kids have been fishing with me. We go almost every year. Fishing is kind of a way of life up here, but I don't want you to think that I'm limiting it to fishing. I've got about 7 other products that are rolling around in my head that I'm trying to bring to market. And while some of them touch on fishing and they kind of go that realm, I mean, they're also hunting products and they're just general everyday products. And I mean, it's just how I grew up. I grew up fishing. Come February, -50. All I could think about is springtime and fishing openers right there. So it's all right, let's get ready for fishing season.
I definitely connect with that a lot, being from Philadelphia. And man, once that December or January hits and it's cold out, you're just kind of sitting inside waiting for that moment. When are we gonna get a break?
Yep. I just need that little bit of warmth, and. Yeah, you can run from ice house to ice house up here, but it's still cold.
Absolutely. So your product, it's available on your website, and it's also available in retail stores too. Tell me a little bit about the connections you have in different retailers and where you guys are actually at.
So currently, right now, we're at Running Shields. We're on Amazon. We're in a lot of camps. For the summertime right now. Just because you got all the kids' activities that are happening and everything like that. Working on contracts right now with West Marine, Walmart as well. There's going to be a lot of online sales coming up for this Christmas for the madeinusa.com, a site that's about ready to be launched, and Walmart online as well. So with us just growing and really getting the exposure right now, we're still expanding into those areas. It'll take some time, but we'll get there.
No, absolutely. And Brian, like I said, great product for any parents out there listening, for any younger kids listening. It's a great opportunity for you guys to kind of break outside the barriers of just your traditional lure, right? You got this kind of put your own thought and creativity into a lure. Go out there, try to catch a fish with it. And Brian, I'm going to give you the floor here at the end to shout out any of your social medias and your website too, where people can follow along.
Yeah, absolutely. So we're on Facebook and Twitter. Don't get me wrong, I don't do much on there. I'm not really great with social media, but we are on there. My wife will take it over every once in a while. My website is www.northernlightstoys.com, or if you find us on Amazon, please just leave us a 5-star review. Could definitely use it, love it, and happy fishing, guys.
Well, Brian, it was great having you on here. I'll link all those in the description where people can go check it out. And tight lines, man. I appreciate it.
Fantastic, Eric. Thank you so much.